Wow, I haven't heard this in so long.
Cantinho, violão, este amor uma canção pra fazer feliz a quem se ama. Muita calma pra pensar e ter tempo pra sonar. Da janela vê seu corcovado. Que lindo, queira a vida sempre assim. Com você perdoe me até ou apegar a velha chama. E eu que era triste, descrente desse mundo. Eu encontrar você, eu conheci. Ok, felicidade, meu amor. Ei, 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 ei. Quiet nights of quiet stars, quiet chords from my guitar, floating on the silence that surrounds us. Quiet walks and quiet dreams, quiet walks by quiet streams, and a window that looks out on mountains. This is where I wanna be, here with you, so close to me until the final flicker of life's ember. I who was lost and lonely, believing life was over. A bitter tragic joke have found with you. The meaning of existence, oh my. Hey, 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 hey,
I'm going to stop this for a minute because there's a major kind of a...
Yeah, now I hear a huge hiss.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm not sure how to deal with this. Strange. Might have to hang up and fall back. Oh, okay. It's my. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, but the hiss went away.
Okay, I see what it was, and don't have to hang up. That's good. And I'm going to go back to the beautiful music. And
Sure.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Let's see. I gotta share the screen.
Este amor, uma canção pra fazer feliz a quem se ama. Muita calma pra pensar e ter tempo pra sonhar. Da janela vês o corcovado.
I forgot this arrangement.
Pretty.
It is pretty. Haven't heard it.
Ou a pegar a velha chama. E eu que era triste, descrente desse mundo. Eu encontrar você, eu conheci. O que é felicidade, meu amor. Ei, 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 ei.
Yeah, Julie Kelly. I'm hearing my external headphones. I don't know what that means.
Now it's gone.
Okay, now it's gone. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to get this fixed today, aren't I?
Yeah.
I am. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend Julie Kelly is my guest today. And I'm just going
to be here.
Bring us up. It is wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Roland and Mark, you tell me if I'm having any kind of strange audio problems, and then that'll be good. Mark says, "Great voice." So that was an Otmaro Ruiz arrangement, but Bill Conliffe was playing.
Yeah. Bob Shepard, Joe LaBarbera, Larry Coons. I believe Tom Warrington on bass.
Tom Warrington?
No, wait, who was I don't remember.
Wouldn't be Tom Warrington. Well, I don't think so, because he might have been gone by then.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't.
I wonder if it says. Let's see if it says it on the video. It says Tom Warrington. Wow, Tom Warrington.
He came back and forth a lot, before he permanently moved to New Zealand. Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow. Tom Warrington. All right. Well, that's cool. Julie and I have been friends for years and years and years and years. And I remember the first song I really heard her sing was Up on the Roof.
Long time ago at the $2 bills.
Yeah, with Jim Nichols.
Yeah. Mhm. That was a good place.
Yeah, those were the days, right? I have voices talking in the background. You know, that is actually not real voices talking in the background. It is an echo. And I'm not really sure how to deal with that because this is a new problem that I've had since yesterday. So I hope that it will be okay. But thank you for telling me, Mark. Anyway, we'll try and make it go right. Because we're improvisers.
Right. Right.
So, Julie Kelly, let's see, what shall I start with?
You know, there's just to make matters worse, there's gardeners. I hear them. I don't know if you hear them. If you don't hear them, great.
Yeah, I don't hear them.
Okay, good.
We have had like some of that in the past over this. So, but no, I don't hear any of that.
Okay, good.
So let's actually start with Brazil. Since you
Sure.
were doing that Brazilian, you were doing the Portuguese was beautiful and all. Oh, Peggy Lauren Horowitz Lore is here.
Peggy! Hi, Peggy. That's great.
So yeah, let's talk about Brazil. You lived in Brazil. How old you were in your 20s? Is that right?
I turned, it was a part of a trip that started in Mexico, and I made my way down to Brazil.
Oh,
It
really?
took, it took a couple months to do that, and then I stayed in Brazil for many months.
Yeah.
So I was gone about a year total.
Did you intend to go to Brazil, or was
Yeah, that was my plan.
Oh, okay.
But
What made you want to do that? Like a girl?
I heard Brazilian music
Oh.
in like 66 or 1966 or something. It was,
Yeah.
and it just, it just blew my mind. So I decided I wanted to go down there, and I found a friend of my older sister's also wanted to take a trip. So we went together. We left together. He turned around in Peru.
Oh.
But I just kept going and made my way to Rio. Yeah. So it took, many months to get there. And then as I say, I stayed there for also several months. So.
Okay, now wait a minute. Let's get into this a little deeper. I never asked you this part before. So when you say it took you many months to get there, what does that mean?
Well, we made a trip, this friend of my sister's and I, Dan, his name was Dan, we made a trip out of the journey to Brazil. So we spent a lot of time along the way in Mexico. We went down through Guatemala. We went to Tegucigalpa. We ended up taking a little plane to this island north of Colombia. So we went to this island, and then we went to Barranquilla, Cartagena, and then we ended up, in Bogota. And then we took a little plane. It actually was very little. It didn't even have seats. We just strapped ourselves in. It was left over from the military or something. So, and that took us to the Amazon. And so it dropped us off at Leticia, this little town where Colombia, Brazil, and one other, Uruguay, I don't know, 3 countries come together there. And then we went up the river, not down the river, but up the river into Peru. So that all took a long time.
Yeah, you were taking trains and planes and buses.
Well, that was the only plane that we took. We mostly took buses.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And that was pretty exciting in and of itself because it was mostly off the Pan American Highway. So it was, you know, it was pretty loose, you know. And we of course many times were quite high because we had to go up and over the Andes to go into Lima, into Peru we were in many places up on the Amazon. We, Iquitos was one place, and Pucallpa. So it was still the river basin, you know, so then we had to go up and over, so to get to the coast.
I keep thinking about that movie, The Jewel or something, you know, it's like Kirk Douglas's son and Catherine, what's her name? And the buses in that movie are like really
was that
rural.
Was that wasn't Night of the Iguana, right?
No, these are funny, you know, funny movies, you know.
Okay.
But just the bus, I keep thinking about the buses there because they were filled with people and animals and, you know,
everything. Yeah. and then the front seat next to the driver, that seat would come down. Like, so there was really no way out. If something unforeseen happened, you know, it was like, well, we all have to exit through the front, you know, because there were accidents. I mean, I was on one bus and the front wheel just came off. I mean, another bus the engine caught on fire.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was, but the bus drivers were amazing. They were really the unsung heroes, you know. I couldn't believe it. The conditions that they drove in. Oh gosh.
Oh my God. And you know, I'm pretty sure that being young helps.
Oh,
it's like, yeah, big deal. Let's go, you know, right?
Yeah. I had my backpack and my guitar and a tape recorder. And and the tape recorder was stolen because I was, you know, I left it in the wrong place. But I had been doing my Alan Lomax, you know, thing of recording music as we traveled, you know, just all kinds of indigenous music and cumbia, and, you know, depending where I was. And in the Andes, people played and sang these songs called huaynos. And so they're folkloric, you know, songs. So I recorded those, and it was wonderful.
You ought to do a record of that kind of stuff, of, you know, from that whole period.
Yeah.
Bring that up, I think.
Actually, I'm doing a new project, and it's going to include historically some of this music that maybe not the exact music, but capturing something from that time, you know.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Yeah, because that's such a integral part of who you are, I think, you know.
Right.
You love that music so, and
and I still love it, and there's still so much to learn about, you know. I mean, it's there's too much music. I could never listen to it all, but I intend to put some Portuguese stuff on the new project, and some Spanish, and as well as, you know, other material.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. Karen Hammock is here. She loves you. And Rose Colella, she loves you. And thank you, Dan, for posting. He posted you at Birdland singing Harpo's Blues. I remember you singing that.
Oh, great. All right. Great.
Yeah. So, and did you speak Spanish before you went on the trip?
No, I
No.
didn't. Actually, I had studied some Portuguese before
Huh.
I left, but I spoke broken, so it was enough. And I had my my dictionary and like that. So my friend that I left on the trip with, he spoke fluent Spanish, so that was terrific. He because of that, he found really interesting things for us to do while we were traveling. He'd meet a doctor, for instance, in Mexico, and we would go one day with the doctor on his rounds, as he was interacting with patients and
Wow.
all kinds of interesting people.
That's so interesting. Why would the doctor invite you along in his rounds?
Because Dan, my friend, was interested in everything.
Wow.
And he was very socially conscious, very politically conscious. And when do you get a chance to do something like that?
Well,
Yeah.
I can understand why you guys would want to, but it's curious that
Oh,
the doctor would say,
the
"Oh, yeah,
doctor.
come on with me on my rounds."
Yeah. we behaved, we were very good.
So you made your way to Brazil, and
Right.
what did you do when you got there? I know you were young and open, and you had already experienced traveling, for several months, so you were probably in that zone. Were you a little overwhelmed by being there? It's a big city, right? Were you?
I really wasn't. I was so happy to be somewhere like that. And I met, this person, and this person introduced me to this person. And I found a pension in an area called Gloria, which is kind of a downtown sort of area in Rio. And, it was $1.35 a day, and I got breakfast. I had my own room. I mean, and there were a lot of American students there. They were also just some travelers there. So I had a great place that hardly cost anything.
Yeah.
And so that allowed me. And then, I went to all the clubs. There were clubs, there was jazz everywhere, with Louis Cessa. He was playing all the time at these various Rio clubs. One was called The Flag and one was called Number One. And then, of course, there were concerts constantly. So Baden Powell was sort of at the height of his popularity then. So he would just do concerts. I mean, thousands of people would come. It was fantastic.
Oh. And you had your guitar still, right?
Yeah. And I actually played weekly in an American sort of club that catered to Americans, some military, and it was run by a Peruvian couple. I don't know why I ended up there. I can't remember, but there I was. And but it was and I went to a sort of informal school and studied piano, and Paulo Moura, the great player, saxophone player and arranger, was teaching there. So I met all these great people.
Oh,
Yeah.
must have been an amazing time soaking into your.
It was. I was lucky because, the traditional bossa nova samba was still being played everywhere.
Yeah.
It hadn't, left the scene kind of. So.
Yeah. Roland Ascorans is here, and he wants to know what was your impression and what do you remember of the people you met, in this way of traveling?
It was just incredible. So sincere, really humble people. Openness, kind of acceptance. I mean, I was exotic sort of, because I was young and I was the second half of my journey, I was traveling by myself. So I sort of stuck out, but just graciousness. I mean, I'm talking all the way from the beginning, all the way to Brazil. Lovely people. I remember being in really modest homes with my friend Dan, and people would still come out in the living room, even though maybe it wasn't even a wooden floor, maybe it was a dirt floor or something. But they'd have this beautiful tray with drinks, presenting it to Dan and I. Beautiful traditions and friendliness. And the food, of course, was fantastic.
Yeah,
It's kind of, Cathy, when we went to Argentina, we went to Chaco, remember?
Yes.
Remember the people? It was like that. Just a sort of graciousness about it.
Yeah, I totally get that. I totally can feel that. I'm going to Brazil camp in a week or two. And it's funny because I have this, I have an excitement, but I have this I don't know how to explain it. It's like some kind of feeling inside of me, and maybe that's what I'm picking up, that it's going to be kind of like Chaco, and I'm going to just totally lose it when I'm there or leave. I'm just going to be so open and overwhelmed, and I don't know. But
Brazil camp is so much fun. I've only gone one time, but it was so memorable.
Oh God!
And it's Brazilian, so they play all night. It's all night, all day. Not just all day. It's all day and all night.
You must have had a great time at Brazil camp.
I did. I studied with Chico. Pinheiro.
Yeah.
So he had a guitar ensemble, class.
Yeah.
So that was really fun.
Yeah.
I didn't actually sing there. I just mainly went for the guitar parts of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's going to be there the first week. And then the second week, when I'm going, Ginga is there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really excited about. And Claudia.
Vilaleva.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's going to be there. So and I've interviewed her. So that'll be fun to, meet with her. Also, I'm roommating with Christine Helfrich.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun.
Oh, you're going to have a blast.
Yeah, and Stefan Oberhoff will be there, who's told me about it for years and kept saying, Katina, you have to go, so it's going to be fun.
If you see Bob Bassa, say hi for me. Bob Bassa, the guitar player.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really great. He does some teaching there too, so.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure the question, but as you were talking about the people and how much humility they had and graciousness, and people inviting you into their home, I can just imagine that they think possibly that because their society or they've been brought up to think this is an honor, having somebody come into our home, being able to serve them, making them feel comfortable. And just that by itself makes me want to cry. And did you ever find it, I'm not sure how to say this, sad that it's there and not here? I mean, of course we have good friends and family and stuff, but that kind of living where, and not everybody's perfect over there, but that is a perspective that people have. Did you ever feel like a loss that you didn't have that, or a desire? I know you traveled to Mexico, but a desire to go back and surround yourself, or it's too bad that it's not here, something like that?
Probably. I mean, I know that I just was bathed with this sort of idea of gracious living and goodwill
Yeah.
when I was there. So that, of course, felt really good. I was quite young, so I loved it. And I just immersed myself in it. And then probably returning home, but I was so ready to come home. So
Yeah, because you'd been away so long.
I was kind of thrilled to come back to New York. Actually, I ended up going to New York there and living there for about a year. All I remember is enjoying so much when I was there.
Yeah.
But I wasn't thinking. Actually, my trips to Mexico that I've taken the last several years, I do have more of what you're talking about. Like, there's a part of the culture that is so generous and connecting that I miss when I come back here. It's just the way people are.
Yeah. So beautiful. So you went directly to New York after?
I did. My sister was living in Chelsea, and there was a sublet in her building on 10th Avenue and 24th. So I just went there. The rent was $125 per month.
Jeez. Oh, those were the days. Jeez. Oh my God.
And I could go to jazz clubs, and there was no cover. I went to there would be a cover in some places, but the Village had all these great clubs like Boomers, with Norman Simmons was the house pianist.
Wow.
With a great trio. But yeah, there was a cover, but it was it was reasonable.
Yeah. Did you sing in New York?
I didn't.
Ah.
I didn't sing in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I waited
out?
till I got back. Huh?
You just hung out.
I hung out. I got a day job.
Oh.
And so I was working at the hospital. Is it Bellevue Hospital on First Avenue? And I was working in the animal lab with these wonderful people. They were the animal lab crew was mostly immigrants from Jamaica, Cuba, Dominican Republic. Really, really cool. And we were next to the morgue, and they were shooting The Godfather. So that those morgue scenes in The Godfather, that's the film crew was there shooting.
Oh
It was pretty cool.
That's wild. See, I didn't know any of this part. Jeffrey Gimble is here. Lisa Rich, Mila.
Oh, Lisa, Jeffrey.
Yeah. So okay. So New York. So then, don't you like how I'm starting in kind of the first quarter or third of your life?
Yeah.
So
well, actually, we skipped all the folk music part of my life, which is way before Brazil. Was my sister, my twin, and I, my twin sister Kate, and our friend Nikki. We performed folk music all through high school, into our late teens.
Yeah,
because that was thriving in the Bay Area, in Berkeley.
Yeah.
And stuff. So
yeah, when I was in Boston, folk music was, let's see, I was doing some folk music, but I came, like coming up, I was singing with my sisters, and they were kind of, I don't know, I guess we really didn't do much folk music. I don't know, but
right.
Yeah, because Edie played piano, Edie and Margie sang. I sang. I was their younger sister. My dad was a sax player. Mom sang. And so I remember singing folk music with my cousin. Actually, we won a big award. We won a contest at the Hootenanny. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Yes, my cousin Michael and I. he played banjo and I played guitar, and I think we were doing "This Land Is Your Land" really good, both singing. And when we got to the hootenanny, it was a big hootenanny, and
Right.
we put our names in a hat, and we got called. And when we came out on stage, the audience literally groaned. And then we ended up winning. So that was pretty
Why
fun.
did they groan?
I don't know. I guess we were 10 or something, 10 and 11.
Oh my God!
God,
How can you hold your guitar and play at 10 years old? Wow, how brave!
Yeah, well, that's both of us were very outgoing. But yeah, so folk music. So does your sister still sing?
Not really. No, yeah,
So
we
she
haven't
kind of-
sung together for a long time, but she had a great ear. She sang all the harmony parts, and we actually in those days. I mean, we're talking 1960, 67, 66. So Bill Graham, before he became famous and all that, he would come pick us up in his Carmen Ghia. He had this old Carmen Ghia because he was producing shows at that, he's starting to produce. So he would come and pick me and my sister up, and we'd fit our two guitars and ourselves in the back of his Carmen Ghia, and he would drive us down to the television station, the PBS KQED, the television station, and we would sing.
Do you have any pictures of that? I definitely want to see a
I
picture.
bet they're out there somewhere.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Yeah.
You never had like a promo picture of you two?
There's a photo of my sister and I with our guitars because of a hootenanny in Berkeley, but that wasn't part of this other thing that we would do. And then Bill Graham hired us to open at the first Fillmore West.
Oh, really?
So I don't know what year that was, 60 something. So there we were, bringing our guitars and singing our folk music, opening for like the Great Society, which I didn't even know who these people were. I mean, Grace Slick, it was their original band, and it was wild.
Wow. Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? It's just, it's amazing when you look back and you're involved in something like that. If you were in Kansas, you probably would not be, involved in something like that. But you happen to be at that place, at that age, you were doing what you were doing. And you look over and there's Gracie Slick,
Yeah.
Makes sense,
That's right. And the Fillmore West was so huge. We had never sang we'd done concerts in a hootenanny context,
Yeah.
And they were good. The hootenannies. They would have the Edwin Hawkins singers, and their big hit, "Oh Happy Day." That had just come out.
Wow.
So they would normally close the show, but we'd have a whole bunch of different kinds of artists. That's what I think I liked about that era the most is the eclectic part.
Yeah.
There'd be a straight up folk singer, and there'd be a singer-songwriter, and then there'd be a gospel person, and then a blues person, and like that.
That's cool.
Everything was mixed up. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder why they didn't continue that kind of, it's kind of a silly question, but I wonder why nobody continued doing something like that, like a mix and a festival, a music festival. Maybe they are, and I just don't know about the festivals across the country,
Yeah. Yeah. I think, the onset of pop music and sort of overshadowed, and coffee houses. Look what happened in coffee houses in those days.
Yeah.
Everybody played.
Yeah.
Dylan and, Joni Mitchell and Tim Hardin. So
It's like
Yeah,
kind of like the beginning of American pop or something, right? Yeah.
possibly.
Um, John Prue and Katina are both here. They said hello and they love you.
Ciao, Katina. Hi, John.
Yeah. Okay, so we got the folk, but okay, now let's go backward. So, had you fallen in love with jazz at all in your youth?
Well, my mom and dad belonged to the Columbia Record Club. So,
The famous
right?
Columbia Record Club.
Columbia Record Club. So, like a lot of people, so we would get these records. We got solo Monk record. We got Count Basie, Sarah Vaughan, along with Mitch Miller, and we'd get the Harmonicats. You know, we'd get like Leontyne Price. So we had this enormous palette of music and so that's when I first heard jazz. You know, I was attracted immediately. I did not know what it was called or anything, you know, at that point, but I loved the Count Basie band. And we also had Coleman Hawkins. Yeah, so these records would just be mailed to our house.
Yeah.
Remember?
I do.
Well, maybe you don't. I don't know.
I do remember actually,
Yeah.
and I think we had that too for a while. My dad was a DJ, so he would bring home records.
Oh,
But
wow.
I think we did belong to the club too, the Columbia Club, for a while too. But yeah, the records.
Right. So that's when I first was attracted. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I heard Brazilian music, that did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually heard it in Hawaii because we had a friend of a friend, and so my twin sister and I went on vacation there for a couple of weeks, and we stayed with this woman from Fiji in this Waikiki area that I don't think is any longer there, but she had a bunch of Brazilian records. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, you know, what makes Brazilian music so great and so unique? You know, of course, there's the rhythm, right? And the harmonies are very distinctly unique, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it depends what era you're talking about, but the bossa nova era was one era, but then there's all that rich music before bossa nova. And was it Savuka, I think. I've heard some of his early orchestral stuff that's really great, with very distinctive rhythms. And I mean, it's such a huge country, right? So
Yeah.
and then all the cross influences of African American music, and it's just, and the Northeast and their particular kinds of like music.
Yeah. Roberto Montero actually did a workshop here, a 2-part workshop on the history of Brazilian music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know he's been playing with Katina in the last few concerts that I've seen. And, it's a beautiful soul. He's very smart in the history of the music. Great guitar player and singer. Wonderful singer. And yeah, pretty fascinating.
Uh-huh.
Lots of richness, lots of combining and very, very distinct music in the area that develops and then combines. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also subtle differences, also, other than obvious differences as well in the music, Yeah. So aren't we lucky to be into music? Oh my God.
I know.
I don't really do anything else. So then, okay, so then you went to, you came to LA, I guess.
Well, I went back to San Francisco from New
Okay.
York and lived there, many years, and started singing, jazz there, but then moved here in 1980.
So and I know you sang with Jim Nichols,
Yeah.
right? Great guitar player in San Francisco. And so did you jump into jazz?
Yeah. I mean, I sang with a real steady, we worked all the time. We were in um, oh my God, I can't remember, festival. I was in a band called Festival.
Oh, okay.
So we would do restaurants, and we would start the night off with jazz, and then we'd slowly move into R&B and pop and stuff. It was really great training, if nothing else. And so I did that for a long time,
Uh-huh.
and we worked many nights a week. And so then I moved here, and that's when I met you. I hadn't lived here very long at all, if maybe not even a week or something when I met you. And and so I went and I heard Bill Henderson, and I heard Lorez Alexandria was living here and working all over. Ernie Andrews. Who else? It was just such a wealth. Carmen. I mean, I could go see her at Marla's Memory Lane or the Parisian Room.
Sarah was living here.
Huh?
Sarah Vaughan was living here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I never saw her locally play, but
Yeah.
Carmen would occasionally play.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there were all kinds of course, Pinky Winters.
Yeah.
Sue Rainey.
Yeah.
So they were all the high priests and priestesses.
Yeah.
To me,
Exactly.
of jazz singing.
Yeah. And at that time, we had a very strong tribe of singers who were doing kind of like what you were doing in San Francisco, right? We'd be doing casuals and club gigs where you could do jazz and then into funk and rock and stuff like that, right? And we were sharing gigs all the time. That's what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have life lessons about competition during that time? I mean, as far as, jealousy or, like, oh, she got that gig or that kind of competition?
There was so much work.
Yeah, yeah.
It was hard to be jealous because everybody was working all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember that, but I'm sure, I'm human too. So
I remember I went through something. So like with Stephanie, Stephanie was the catalyst for me. So she was, Stephanie was just, great singer.
Yeah.
And good friend. And she did this much of what I did to get work. I did this much to get work.
Yeah.
She did this and got better work. And I finally realized that it was like, it has nothing to do with, competing with each other. It's your own personal road. That's all it is. And that set my mind up for the rest of the time, the community was built and was so strong, I think, out of that period of time. We had a very strong singer community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you were very central to all that.
Bye, John. He's got to run, John Prue. Yes, Mark Baldrige, that is her singing Never Let Me Go. He says it's very nice. That is Julie Kelly. That is an old picture of her. That was like your first or second album? Never Let Me Go?
Yeah, I think, let's see. Yeah, my second record. Right. That was with Steve Kaplan and I think Brandon Fields and Mike Jokum. Gary Willis, I'm pretty sure, is playing bass on that. Yeah. Wow, that was a while ago. Pausa. I think that's Pausa Records.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember having those records. I probably still have them.
I have them somewhere.
Yeah, those were the days of actual record companies that gave you a deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have my, 4-inch tape, and
I have some of that too. Yeah. So what do you think is going on now regarding, well, let's start with regarding jazz. I'm just curious, what's your viewpoint, what's your viewpoint of what's happening in jazz now?
Wow, it's a huge question. I mean, it's all good, I just went and heard Terrence Blanchard's group with the Turtle Island String Quartet.
Yeah.
Right. That was pretty amazing, fabulous. It's a very exciting time to me, I think. There's all the traditional stuff. There's the traditional singing, jazz singing. But, it's interesting. Was it before COVID? I guess it was before COVID. I hosted a history of jazz class at my house. Okay. Yeah. So it was, 8 weeks or something. So every week I'd have a guest
speaker
on to explain and demonstrate, a certain concept or whatever instrument. And I just thought one of the greatest things so one of the most interesting classes with Joe LaBarbera. So he was discussing some of the new inventions in percussion that are happening in today's jazz, like how people play time and this whole sort of reinvention of rhythm and, getting away from maybe the traditional, kang, cheek, kang, and doing all this subtle stuff. I mean, he played examples. I have to say, I couldn't really hear what he was talking about. It's pretty subtle, and it's also, it takes, I think, a while to hear it. So I don't know if I'll ever keep up with everything, really hear it like I hear certain things. But to me, that's exciting that the music, and Joe mentioned, I hope he doesn't mind, I'm quoting him, but because it's not really a quote, but he just said that it's really challenging and it's challenging to absorb a lot of these newer rhythmic approaches to playing. So I think that's pretty interesting. And then, of course, we've all heard the eclectic part, what's happening. Everything's things are interlocking and interchanging, different modes of music, different genres coming together. I think it's all fabulous. I mean, Bill Frisell, some of the things that he does, I kind of use him as an example of this merging in music.
Yeah.
So, I'm just trying to keep up a little bit.
Yeah.
And listen. I love listening to new stuff. I listen to Music Choice on the television sometimes, and then other times I'll go to Apple Music. Like I'll want to hear somebody's latest record, so I'll put their name in, and then after it plays their stuff, it plays similar stuff. I mean, everybody kind of knows how this works. Yeah. Spotify does it, but wow, talk about a journey. I mean, so there's always lovely things to listen to. And then vocally, you know, look at all the merging and just the brilliant artists who are singing. And
Yeah, you know, I heard this this singer. I really should write his name down. What an interesting singer. Before I forget, I'm just going to go look for it because I definitely want to tell you about it if you don't know him already. I saw him with Emmett Cohen. Oh, Vuyo, I have to write his name down. Vuyo Sotashe. Actually, I'm going to take this moment and just play a little because
yeah, let's do it.
I think you will really love this person. So I've never heard of this person before, and I wasn't sure if it honestly a girl or a guy at first.
Cool.
And now the purple dusk of twilight.
Can you hear this, Julie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Steals across the meadows of my mind. High up in the sky, the little stars they climb, always reminding me that we are apart.
Mm-hmm.
You've wandered down the lane and far
Nice, right?
away,
Anyway,
leaving me a song that cannot die. Love is now the stardust of yesterdays, the music of the year.
anyway,
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know about him.
Wonderful.
Yeah, really an unusual.
Especially his falsetto in the beginning. It's really beautiful. You know, a singer I love. I don't listen to a lot of his music, but he wrote a song called "Doomed" for the film. Oh my God, I'm going to forget the name of the film. It's kind of a Romeo and Juliet film, and it takes place mostly in the South. And anyway, there's a funeral in the movie, and so this song comes on during the funeral called "Doomed." Anyway, the singer is Moses Sumney. So, wow. So I went and heard him at the Ford Theater last year, and it was spectacular. I mean, it was a spectacle. I had no idea what his show would be like, and it was fabulous. But he sings in a falsetto most of the time, actually, to great effect.
Wow.
If anyone out there has a few minutes,
Moses Sumney.
Moses Sumney. Yeah, Sumney, and the song is called "Doomed."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's apparently from San Bernardino area.
Really?
Yeah, and he is over the top performer. It's, you know, he comes out in this amazing costume, and wow, it's it's really great.
Wow.
But the particular song is rather subtle in comparison to most of his material.
Moses Sumney.
Sumney, yeah.
I see. Yeah, he's a few different spots here for the at the like all of the, and he's done an NPR music Tiny Desk.
Oh, cool.
Oh, and here's maybe 2 months ago. Maybe this was where you saw him. Did he look like this?
It was last year, or it
Oh.
was, yeah, it was at the Fort. That was a while ago. But he's
Okay.
kind of beyond category in a really great way.
Here's Doomed. Just curious a little bit here.
I'll play it. Oh my God.
With inverted tongue, from whence does fulfillment come? And I expel from this mortal shell, will I die for living up? I am my vital, if not as I do, and I do.
Wow, beautiful.
I feel you, but nobody else. Though you're someone I can't see, yet you said nothing of the stoic suffering that stirs lukewarm in me. If lovelessness is godlessness, will you cast me to the wayside? Well, I feel the feeling of half-painted ceilings, reveal the covering of a blank sky. Am I vital, if not as I do, am I doomed?
Wow.
Cry to me, so I can see if I'm doomed. I'm a vital, if not as I do, am I doomed? Cry to me, so I can see if I'm
Pretty powerful music, video, everything.
Yeah.
Incredible.
am I vital, if my heart is idle, am I doomed?
Wow.
Right?
Wow. Yeah. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty powerful.
I think the movie, I kind of remember, I think it's called Queen and Slim.
Okay, it says,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people like this. Let's see.
What's
Uh,
not like? You know, it's like, what? And he composes all of this. You know, it's his composition. Yeah, really something.
Interesting. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. What an expressive, what an expressive voice and way to use it. And
yeah.
Wow.
When I see people like this, I get it kind of pushes me into an area of inspiration of being more original. It's like, they're obviously not following the rules, that maybe you and I followed, coming up, because it was a different time. We were working, we had to sing the melody, but yeah, it's very inspirational to hear people. They're not looking for their voice to be perfect, they're actually looking for perfection of expression,
Yeah. There's a lot of inspiration out there. There's a great singer I found recently. I really like Tonina Saputo. I think it's Saputo or Saputo. And she's she's a bass player and an arranger, like a lot of singers these days. Katina, speaking of, they sing, but they also play instruments, they arrange, they compose, right? It's really multifaceted. And this wonderful singer, she's terrific. If you get a chance, check her out. She sings a version, oh my gosh, what's the song? Quizás, Quizás, Quizás.
Yeah.
She arranged an incredible version. As a matter of fact, if you find it, we can listen to just a little bit of it.
Okay.
Because she's influenced by flamenco and, that kind of setting, the scales and everything, of all the subtleties. She's a little bit like Biuca. Do you know Biuca?
No, I don't.
She's spectacular.
So many of these. I find more instrumentalists. I don't find that many. I don't focus more on vocalists. Just I don't know why, but like you said, when I'm on whatever I'm on iTunes, Amazon Music, and they're playing whatever they're however they're deciding the algorithms, and I'm always hearing like, wow, that is incredible, that's great, but I don't hear a lot of singers.
Check out her influence.
What is it, 12 or something?
Siempre que te pregunto que cómo, cuándo y dónde, tú siempre me respondes, quizás, quizás, quizás. Y así pasan los días y yo desesperando y tú contestando, quizás, quizás, quizás. Estás perdiendo el tiempo pensando, pensando lo que más tú quieras. ¿Hasta cuándo, hasta cuándo? Y así pasan los días y yo desesperando y tú contestando, quizás, 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 quizás. Y así pasan los días y yo desesperando y tú contestando. Quizás, 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 quizás.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, really great. That's another person, you know, who's doing a, you know, unique what they hear, right? And yeah, it's inspirational.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And she's not like, you know, she's not like a, you know, perfect voice technique person, and it doesn't matter.
Mm.
It's not.
It's
that
pretty perfect.
because it's perfect. It's perfect for the expression.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
that's
all
what it
her
is.
little licks, you know, and all that, just real subtle stuff, you know.
But it's perfect in the expression.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
musical and communicative.
Oh, you mean her voice isn't conventional, like a conventional voice or something?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh.
These singers,
Yeah.
like even Moses, it's like, you know, maybe they didn't take voice technique, you know, and it's not important.
I don't know. I'm thinking they maybe they didn't need it, but maybe they did.
Really, you think so?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't say, but
Yeah.
I mean, I know playing and singing is pretty challenging, and she, you know, she's doing such a great job. It would be great to find a Katina and an arrangement. I wasn't thinking of this, Katina. I don't know if you're still listening, but
She's gone.
she's did some beautiful arranging, but I don't know how to find it.
Yeah.
I should have thought of that. Do you have any of her stuff on YouTube?
I probably can find it, but like Karen says,
Yeah.
we want to hear Julie Kelly. And yeah, and so let's see what I think I can get away with, and I can play some stuff. Let's see. So I wonder if Happy to Be or Moonbird would shut me down. I'm not sure.
Maybe I should play my guitar and sing.
Sure.
But what would it sound like? I mean, I don't know, because I never.
Probably fine.
I mean, do you think the sound would be good?
Yeah.
Let me get my stool.
Okay. All right. We're going to have that happening. Exciting. By the way, tomorrow, for you guys listening, I'm going to have an extremely interesting and successful bass player on named Michael Manring. And he's had a very interesting career, played with a lot of people, and he's pretty fabulous.
Wow, I wasn't counting on singing.
We're
But
prepared.
it just occurred to me, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know if people can see my guitar.
I can see what's important. Yeah, turn on your original sound. So up on the Zoom meeting on the left, it says original sound, or it should.
Okay, hang on one sec. Okay, so what do I do?
Do you see original sound up at the top left of your Zoom screen?
Actually, no, it just says live.
Okay, so go down to next to the microphone.
Uh-huh.
And there's that little caret sign.
Yeah.
Go in there. Go to audio settings, which is at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then go to audio in there, and let's see. Shoot, where is it? Where is it, Joe? I forget where the turn on. Let's see. Oh, okay. So if you go into audio and you scroll down a little bit,
Yeah.
underneath, underneath where, gosh, I just saw it. Okay, microphones, suppress noise. Oh, so under music and professional audio, do you see that?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
says show in meeting option to enable original sound. And
Yes.
click that one.
Okay.
Now you should see original sound up at the top left of your screen.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just if it says on, click on.
It's on now.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, great.
And the guitar?
Yeah.
Oh, now I have to figure out what to do. How about a Blossom Dairy tune?
Sure.
Emily Remler did a great version of this tune. Words and music are all that I need. I will travel wherever they lead. And I'm having more fun in the game. A darling boy has brought me joy, sweet Georgie fame. Oh, I met him one night quite by chance. Now wherever I'm walking I dance. And London is not quite the same, 'cause when he sings the city swings, sweet Georgie fame. London Bridge is falling down. Pop songs I hear with suspicion, but now at last I'm free to meet a sweet loving real good musician. Oh, from Broadway to Festival Hall, I have listened and I've heard them all, and they say I'm a real swinging dame, but I confess my ears are blessed with Georgie fame.
Wow, I've never heard that before. That's cool.
Georgie fame? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course I've heard Georgie fame, but never that song. That's really cool.
Oh, I love that song.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know
It's
about
such a
that
great
song.
story, of her meeting Georgie fame,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it's biographical. She
Yeah.
was at a gig probably, and he came in, and he's so fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah. He's a name. I always try and think of his name, and I can't think of his name. He's one of the. It's like that name just kind of goes.
It's an unusual name. I
It
mean,
is unusual, yeah.
like I wonder, is that his real last name?
Yeah,
Because he's a Brit, right? He's British.
yeah. And Gary has old stuff on him on record,
His rock and roll stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then he, kind of magnificently moved into jazz, Who is that? The producer on his jazz record was, I forget. He's like a.
Was it Ben Sidran?
Yes, Ben Sidran.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good.
You mean Poet in New York? That particular.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
That's
really
That's a
nice.
great record.
Yeah. And my friend Andy McIntosh played with him in England. And
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, they had, yeah, it's pretty great. Amy Nolte is here, and she said, great guitar playing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think we've ever met Amy, so hi.
Get out of here.
Thanks. I don't think
Oh
so.
my gosh, I'm so surprised.
I
Well, I mean, she doesn't hang out on this side of town a lot, but I would think over the years that you guys would have met. Oh, well,
Yeah.
once we get really, really social again, let's have a little party.
All right, let's do it.
We could do it in a yard, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So Blossom Dearie, yeah, somebody sent me a funny they did like a little funny tribute to Blossom Dearie, and I'll have to try and find that and send it to you. It's pretty cute. Pretty funny. Yeah, Amy said, we have not met. Nice to meet you.
Same here.
Hiroki
Likewise.
Hayashi from Japan. Hi, Ohio. How are you? Yeah, so what are you doing these days? I know you're working on a record.
I am. Yeah, I'm gonna do a record.
So you're
that-
working on arrangements right now?
I have a lot of arrangements.
Okay.
They're already, yeah. It's more just sort of choosing songs.
I see.
And yeah, so I want to, we were talking about how the road in your career and, your listening history and stuff can be very long, obviously, and varied. So for me, this record, I want to do some of the material reflecting my folk days, my trip to South America, New York, the Bay Area, and contemporary. So I want to bring it all into one record.
Yeah.
So
That should be interesting.
yeah, it'll be. I want to sing in French. I want to sing in Portuguese, Spanish, and English. So there's so much great material out there.
Yeah. There really is. I've been trying to come up with a theme for my friend Cho Yun Sung, who did my record with me.
Yeah.
Bohemian.
Yeah.
So he has this project that he wants me to do with him, and we have to come up with a theme. And damn, it's hard. It's really hard,
You mean
And
for
there's so much great
existing
music.
existing material, or you
Yes,
mean material that?
Yes, I mean, he and I will write a song too, but it's a theme for starting with the Korean public. So for that to offer to the Korean public, so it has to be some kind of a theme that is digestible, the theme,
Or
And so
like recognizable.
yeah, like maybe the Great American Songbook or American pop music or international music, but things that people might recognize at first. And it's hard. It's hard to. There's so many different themes you could come up with.
Right. One thing to do is, another way is to accrue the material and then, see if there's a theme in there. It's just there, but rather than start with a theme,
Yeah.
to just start with a bunch of material and then maybe there's a theme in there somewhere.
I feel like I've done that with a lot of my records, and
Oh.
there is no theme. Just like, oh, I like this song, I like this song, I like this song.
Right.
But yeah, it is. I mean, it's, you either have to research for a very long time or you have to pull from your own knowledge, So yeah, it's
So is this is more for a Korean audience?
starting,
Okay.
for a Korean audience, yeah. So, but Cho actually grew up part of the time in Brazil, so he's very connected to Brazilian music, which is so beautiful. I mean, that of course could be a theme all by itself, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's so, oh my God, there's so many different themes. It's hard to it's hard
I
to
find
decide.
themes to be limiting.
Yeah,
They're constricting in some way, either one way or more ways.
Yeah.
And so eventually I just kind of give up on
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because it's too limiting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe not. There's
Well-
certainly plenty of records put out that are theme oriented. So
Yeah.
it's
But, you know,
it works for some people, that's for sure.
There's also, it could be like a little broader idea of a theme, like what you're describing for your record. That actually is a broad theme. It's kind
Yeah.
of your life, you know.
Yeah.
And so it could be maybe a broader idea, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Julie is a really great teacher as well. I had many workshops with Julie as the clinician, and I think she's one of my favorite teachers I've ever seen in action.
Thanks, Kath.
Yeah, you're
I
very,
enjoy it.
you're empathetic, you're honest, but kind, and totally musical, and have all the right kind of perceptions for a teacher. So I think, yeah. So you've also had workshops for so long.
I have.
Yeah,
Yeah, at my
so,
house. Yep.
Yeah, talk about that.
It's fun. It's usually a 7-week workshop with a concert at the end. So basically, my last workshop, for instance, Andy Langham played, and then at the end there was a couple of rehearsals with trio, and then the final concert. So it sort of gives everybody a chance to start from nothing, like, just bring in a bunch of songs, and little by little it all starts to coalesce. And I require, or maybe that's too strong of a word, but I ask people to do, a Latin-inspired tune, maybe a swing tune, and a slower, maybe a ballad, but also there's plenty of room for eighth note music and bebop and, all the variations. So I don't restrict it, but I want a variety, so we start there, and everybody just comes to the plate. They really give it all they have, and then the final concerts are always great fun, great spirit. Yeah. And I hope, I think it's helped certain singers, journey over that big abyss of, haven't done a gig in a long time, or haven't done gigs much at all, and to take those steps to start more live performance.
Yeah. It's so valuable, especially in these days, because since they don't get to do what we did, like have club gigs and casuals and work
Right.
10 gigs a week,
Right.
Yeah, you're right. There's that abyss it's pretty intimidating.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. So it's a kind of safe place
Yeah. Yeah.
for people to get 3 tunes together that they could, use on a gig. And
Yeah.
so,
Joe Goldberger is here, and he said he likes your cover of Stevie Wonder's Part-Time Lover.
oh my gosh,
He wanted to know who the musicians were on that track.
that was a great session. That was a live session recorded in New York, and Tom Garvin was on piano.
Oh, wow.
Jay Anderson was playing bass. Todd Strait was playing drums, and if there's trumpet, it was Chris Bodie,
Oh.
and tenor is Bob Franceschini.
Oh. Was that on the record?
And Gene Bertoncini too, huh?
Is that on the one from your record we're talking about, Some Other Time, or was this some?
Let's see, what record was this?
I mean, you definitely did it on Some Other Time,
I did.
apparently.
I can't remember.
I just looked it up, so.
It was Joey Ferry was a producer in New York, and we did it at his studio. Yeah, we did like Chick Corea's sounds, his tune sounds, or I'm sorry, Tones for Jones Bones. Yeah, I guess it was it Some Other Time?
I mean, it's on Some Other Time.
Well, then that's it. That's the record. Yeah. It was a while ago.
Yes, it was.
But that was really fun. Bob Franceschini, he was just out here, and I wasn't able to go see him. I don't know if he was with Mike Stern or someone, but he's such a terrific player. And, of course, Jay Anderson, too.
I don't know Bob.
Yeah, he's not a household, I guess, name, but I think he played tenor.
Okay.
Yeah. And Chris Bodie, wasn't Chris Bodie yet.
He wasn't.
And so, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Todd Strait, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I think he was living in New York briefly at that time. So, and then Gene Bertoncini played fantastic, and he along with Tom Garvin helped arrange and do a lot of things right on the spot in the studio. He was fantastic because Gene's had such experience in the recording studio for 50 years or something. Yeah.
I don't think I told you, but I saw him right before the pandemic at the New York Jazz Hang, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
Jazz Congress. And he was adorable. He was definitely like aging, adorable.
Yeah. And everybody loves him. I mean, if you're walking with Gene, you meet everybody because he's so admired. And yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was great. Joe wants to know also, what are the things beside melody that you hear in a pop song that inspires you to cover it in a jazz setting?
Gosh, probably the rhythmic components, the feel, the groove, and the lyric.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so
everything.
Pretty much everything, but I guess certain elements I would respond to more, like feel and groove, and even if I were to change it somewhat.
Sometimes I'm drawn to very, very simple harmonic songs, like some of Sting's tunes are not
sure.
They don't go through a lot of change, but the overall effect of the melody and the harmony are kind of live within this, universe that's very alluring.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the things with the Great American Songbook, the melodic lines are so interesting. A lot of chromaticism, a lot of key shifting with the melody. Even if you don't really necessarily hear all the key and harmony centers changing, it's there, and you actually do hear it, but you just don't know it.
Yeah.
And I guess if you spoke about it all really in plain language, you could say that pop tunes, don't have chromatics all that much, and their lyrics are certainly not the poetry of the Great American Songbook. I mean,
yeah.
I suppose, I was teaching at MI for a long time, and I had a German student who knew a lot about music, a lot about songs, and he passed out something for my class, and he explained how in Europe, a lot of the songwriters fled Hitler, and of course came here.
Yeah.
And so the sort of development of the Great American Songbook was based on a lot of opera components. So the recitative in an aria, which set the aria up, it became the verse to a lot of these songs,
Yeah.
etc. So the path of its development is pretty clear. So you could think of pop as it doesn't have a lot of those elements. At the same time, it has all kinds of other elements that are powerful and rich,
Yeah.
in their own right. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Actually, my friend Taylor Hatch here wants to know what standards do you always go back to for enjoyment, or what are some new standards that you're trying to learn?
Sweet and Lovely. That's the newest one I'm trying to learn, and it's because I heard the John Hicks, his version.
I don't know that exactly, I think.
It's so swinging. It is so swinging. It's a killer. So he recorded it quite a while ago. I'm sorry to say I don't remember the name of the record, but it's John Hicks, and how suddenly you hear a song and it's all rich. It's just full of riches.
Yeah.
That suddenly you're hearing all this that you didn't hear before. So anyway, that's my newest song. I've never sung it, but he
I can't think of the bridge. There is a bridge, right?
There is a bridge. Don't ask me to sing it because
Yeah.
I don't know it, and I heard him play it, but couldn't really sing it for you.
Yeah. Is
What
there a
other
song that
standards?
I mean, that's kind of like people asking you, what's your favorite song?
Well, I like Harold Arlen. So I had a gig a couple weeks ago, and I sang "Hooray for Love,"
Oh, wow.
which and it was an arrangement by Tom Garvin. It was simple. It wasn't real intricate, and so that's a song I sort of rediscovered. Sometimes I can't find one.
You
So
can't find one
I'm looking
that
for
you
a
like?
standard that I'm inspired to sing, and it's hard for me to find one. And then and then a couple of days go by, and that kind of changes. But
I found one by Cole Porter the other night that I was up in the middle of the night and I opened up the book, and right now I can't remember the name of it. If I could, or something like that. I'm gonna have to share it with you. As I was playing through it, it was definitely a Cole Porter song, talk about kind of shifting of keys and stuff, and beautiful lyrics. And I can't believe I've never heard the song, and I fell in love with it. And the melody it's a little unusual, the motion of the melody. So it took me a number of times through to actually really have the melody sit inside of me, because I kept wanting to go somewhere else, Yeah, I'll have to share that with you.
interesting, yeah.
Really a nice song.
But that's a great question. Taylor Hatch. Now, you're a guitar player, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Hi.
He's at UNT. He's a student at UNT.
Okay.
Yeah.
University of North Texas.
And,
So
yeah,
so
he's on
Taylor,
here a lot.
so Taylor, what standards do you like right now? If you can name a couple.
Nobody has asked you that before, so let's see what you come up with. This will take a minute because there's a little delay.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think I like to go to all the things you are. And I mean, this is not just comfortable standards for you and I to sing, right? I mean, I usually pull out Cherokee or Cheek to Cheek, or these songs I feel comfortable with. I know
Yeah,
that pretty much it's cool. But the songs that I appreciate that, well, some other time. I mean, there's tons of ballads, right? That we could go down the
sure.
ballad lane. Um,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
yeah. Taylor hasn't gotten that yet. Thank you, Dan. Dan Davila has posted your website if you want to listen to her music and buy it as well.
Oh, thank you, Dan. That's
Um,
great.
but Taylor did ask another interesting question, which is, how would you say maturity as an artist looks, feels, and sounds like? Oh boy,
Mhm.
that's a deep
Well,
question.
hopefully better, right? Yeah, it's a long road, so
It is.
take your time, But um, I mean, there's part of music that's always painful as an artist, as a performer. Oh, I mean, that's what I call it. Maybe that's not real for other people because it takes part of your guts, um, to participate, and you don't always want to. I don't always want to do that. I don't know about you, but
Are you
I don't
just
always want to go through, a lot of suffering. um,
you be a little more specific? I'm not sure
there's
which,
a certain
like
amount
where.
of there's a certain amount of pain that I have to go through to even put a show together to feel like I'm connected. It doesn't just happen. Well, maybe it does for some people, um, but of course, I'm speaking performance oriented.
Okay, performance.
So this is
Yes.
performance oriented. So just all of the factors that need to be working, at optimum level
Yeah.
um, to do something that's musical and truthful and maybe transformational. Who knows? So that's a lot, I think, to prepare
Yeah.
for that. I'm not a casual performer. I mean, I just played my guitar and I didn't even know what I was going to
Pretty
do. So
casual. Yeah.
it just kind of flies in the face of all that. But
Yeah.
it's a chance to say something as deep as you can get if you can get there. So that is something to take seriously. I don't know. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
May not be what everybody feels, but
No, no. I think it is, and I think if you don't, well, if you don't know that, you either just haven't focused on that, you know, or you're dead. Because and not focusing on it is not a crime. However, it's the opportunity is totally laid out for you, and all you have to do is, and I say all, but really it's laid out there. So if you just walk through it, you're going to basically do what you're talking about. I mean, I'm always reading books, like I'm reading The Inner Game of Music right now. Have you read that?
it's somewhere along the line, probably did.
Very cool. I'm
Is that
reading.
Kenny Werner or no?
No, that's
Who's
Barry Green.
okay?
And he basically asked the guy who wrote The Inner Game of Tennis and Golf if he could expound on that. And it's pretty great. It's pretty great. And anyway, I read those books, the Kenny Werner books and the Stephen Nachmanovich books and etc. Because I think uh, they they set up my mind and spirit on the road. And then, but I mean, once you're in the performance, you just have to rise to the occasion and deliver. And it's what you've done, what you've soaked in, what you've realized before that actually reflects and manifests, right? And like you say, I remember, I always give this example actually. Sometimes
Oh,
I
no.
say your name and sometimes I don't. I'll say your name now because we're talking about it. I remember I saw you with John Hammond at that place in Woodland Hills, that really nice little gig that was in the hotel. And you were fabulous. And I said, oh my God, that was so incredible. What a great night. And you said, it's a good thing because last night I was ready to give up singing. You had a gig the night before, and and that's how it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Sure.
Whatever, we don't know what it's going to be like. And I think that's, when you're talking about the pain, I think, God, it's really hard. And like, well, let's say you're having a great night, you recorded it, and you just felt so good, back to the recording, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's hard not to take it personally, which you can't. You can't just take it personally. You just have to let it go, right?
Yeah. So it's quite a challenge, keep a certain level and yeah, and be open at the same time and receptive
Yeah.
to what other people play.
Yeah. What's your view on what do you teach people as far as taking advice from others? What do you teach your students as far as who to take advice from? Or do you ever come upon
It's
that?
never really come up who to take advice from. I mean, they
Or-
take advice from me when they're in my workshop.
I mean, being
I-
open to comments or reviews or that kind of stuff or suggestions. I don't know why I thought of that. I guess.
Wait,
whatever.
you mean within a workshop context, or?
No, not within the workshop, but how students sometimes will, well, not only listen to their own mind, as Rebecca Paris used to say, their own suck monster, right, on their shoulder, but also somebody else might say, well, whatever, you suck there, or you're not singing that right, or
Oh, yeah. So, well, that's, you're up there, you're in front of everybody. It's going to happen.
yeah,
People are going to have their opinions. Hopefully they won't lay too much negativity on the artist. But even if someone's great, there's still people who connect with what you do and people
yeah.
that don't connect as strongly.
That's
So
not our
there's
job.
that, there's just
Yeah,
whatever you're performing and who really receives it in a really positive way.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't spend any time on that.
yeah,
I mean, in terms of teaching, I mean, people are going to have opinions, and sometimes they verbalize them, and it's not really very meaningful. I mean, to me, for the artists, they have their path, and they know what they have to do,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Even even sometimes positive feedback isn't necessarily helpful. It's
Yeah.
so I just sort of view it all as some of the stuff that's floating around when you perform or when other people perform.
Yeah,
When you're on stage, you can pretty much feel everything.
yeah,
So there you go. So just receive it and then just let it.
in a way, I hate that everybody's, videoing you on Facebook and stuff, while you're
Yeah.
performing, because when you're on stage and you're experiencing it, it can feel
Yeah, well,
totally amazing.
that's
You know?
some rules come into play there, like there's no video,
Yeah,
it's not allowed.
yeah,
How about that? Yeah, because it's like, first of all, it's a terrible way to experience someone's performance because of all the factors,
yeah,
sitting in a room or a restaurant, or
yeah,
so yeah, that's something to deal with. And
yeah. This is more of the pain, right? I mean, it's hard work. It's not easy.
no,
It's hard work, especially being a singer, I think. And, I mean, there's been tons of jokes about singers, of course, and rightfully so. But if you take a good singer, a good musician singer, it's hard work because we have a lot to think about. We have to be in front. We have to be, the lyrics and communication of the song are a huge part of it. So it's not a super easy job.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if you have the right people and
Yeah.
you prepared, it can be usually really lovely.
Yeah.
So,
Finally, Taylor has answered us.
oh,
How deep is the ocean? Which I
oh
know.
yeah, oh
If
yeah.
I were a bell, I'll be seeing you, and Moon River.
Cool.
What did I went and saw Bill Frisell this year, at, I forget that room.
Zebulon.
Yes, Zebulon. And at the end, he, what the world needs now is love. That's what he played.
Wow.
It was beautiful. There were it was a real mixed crowd there. A lot of young people. It was great.
Fantastic.
You didn't go, right?
I didn't go. Sometimes it's the room itself that will give you an audience that's different.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Absolutely.
great. It was just his trio, and it was, that room is mostly a standing room, and
Right.
I just found it really interesting, Beverly
Yeah.
Church Hogan is here too.
Hey, Beverly.
And Ginny Bucktel. Hi, Ginny. And Mark Winkler. Hello.
Hey, Mark.
Let's see. We have a few more minutes. Should we?
Wow, time flies, huh?
I know, isn't it? It's amazing, huh? I wonder if they'd take me down if I did some of your records. I mean, Pazza is actually a defunct label, right?
Oh yeah, they've been out of business for a long time.
And probably was some of their time on Pazza.
Yeah. Play something off the new record. Well, the newest record.
Which is,
Let's see. Which is Happy to Be. Bum, bum, bum. Susan Martyr and I wrote a tune. She composed it, and I wrote the lyrics. A tune for Joni Mitchell.
what song is that? Is that how?
It's called For Joni.
Okay.
That's kind of neat. Harpo's Blues. Did you already play that?
No.
Because that's kind of a cool arrangement.
Which one would you like me to play of those two?
What else is on there?
Let's see. Well, it's Happy to Be is the title, right?
Right, that's a tune on there.
I mean, but that's the
You're the Dangerous Type.
Harpo's. I Wish I Could Go Traveling Again. Our
Oh
Love
yeah.
Goes
Oh,
On.
yeah.
Corcovado. I Have the Feeling I've Been Here Before. Never Went Away. You're the Dangerous Type.
I Never Went Away is a really cool tune. Can we play part of that or all of it?
Yeah.
That's Richard Rodney Bennett
Oh,
wrote
okay.
that. He wrote. He was the composer and the lyricist.
Okay.
And
I'm not
Mark
gonna-
Murphy recorded this on his September Ballads
Oh,
record.
God, that's a gorgeous record.
Yeah, Larry Dunlap did all the arranging on that
Oh,
record.
that record kills me.
Yeah. So I
Um,
learned about that tune from Mark Murphy.
I see. I'm not going to share the screen because possibly we won't get taken down if I don't share.
Okay.
the
Okay.
screen. You and I, people will see you and I while we're listening. Who's playing guitar on this?
Larry Kuntz.
I try to get away from you.
I'm sorry, it's Anthony Wilson.
Oh.
Sorry. one genius for the other genius.
I went on trains and boats and planes where love would never find me. But oh, my dear, however far away I flew, no matter where I traveled to, I never went away from you. I never went away. If ever I would lose my way without a star to guide me, I always found I'd turn around and you'd be there beside me. And so, my dear, however far away I flew, no matter where I traveled to, I never went away from you. I never went away. I tried to get away from you, to find myself a new love, a different face, a warm embrace. But all I found was you, love. I know, my dear, however far away I flew, no matter where I traveled to, I never went away from you. I never went away.
Yeah.
I never went away. I never went away.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Kat. Great tune.
Who's on trumpet?
Ron Stout.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful player.
Yeah, he sure is.
Well, And everybody said beautiful. Joe Goldberger, Mark Winkler, Joyce,
Aw.
Dan, Nora.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much for listening.
This was fun, Jules.
It was great. It was great, Kath. Thanks
Thanks.
so much for having me.
Thanks for doing it.
And I'm doing a birthday gig end of October, so I want everybody to come. It's going to be
so
great.
when is it?
It's it's the day after my birthday. Actually, it's October. I think it's October 29th.
October 29th.
Yeah. At the G Spot.
Well, you know what? I won't be there.
Because you're out of town.
I'm going to France.
Nice.
I'm really sorry that I won't be at your birthday gig.
That's okay.
What a bummer, man.
Bill Cunliffe's going to play. We'll have a great band.
Oh, you guys are going to have a great time. So October 29th
Yes.
at the G Spot, and I'm sure they can find tickets on your website, right?
Yeah, not quite yet. I haven't put them up,
Okay.
but
All right.
I will.
All right.
So I want to thank everybody out there who listened. I appreciate it. And we will meet up again soon.
Thanks for being on. And tomorrow, for those of you who are coming back, it's Michael Manring. Do you know him?
No.
He's like a super successful bass player who's played on all kinds of stuff. And he's pretty admired. And I'm excited to speak with him. So that's tomorrow. And then, of course, the many archives coming up. Oh, and guess what I'm doing Sunday? I am sitting in with the Brent Fisher Big Band.
Fantastic.
Yeah, in Studio City. As a matter of fact, I was right near your house they live on just past the school on Laurel Canyon. There's a little street. That's not where your family lives, right?
Carpenter. On Carpenter?
Well, no, it's his address is Laurel Canyon. And it's right after
okay.
the school. That's not where your family lives, right?
No.
Yeah, well, anyway, they live there. So I went there for a rehearsal, but so Sunday I'm sitting in and people, if you're interested, it's the music of Claire Fisher. It's big band. It's really beautiful music. And I'm just sitting in on one song, and it's Sunday, 5:30 to 7. And you can find information on my website. Oh, Michael Manring was the bass player for Michael Hedges, who I don't know, Dan. I mean, I know Michael Manring because I've investigated him, but do you know Michael Hedges?
No.
Nope. Julie doesn't either.
I mean, I know the name, but I can't.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. All right. I love you so much.
Thank you, Cap. I love you too, and love to everybody out there.
Thanks.
Everyone have a great rest of their day.
Thank you, honey bun.
All right.